All right, this video I'm going to tell you a really cool secret about credit cards and also line of credit. So I'm going to start off with talking about line of credit first, and then I'm going to get into credit cards and points and travel and stuff like that next. But the first thing we're going to talk about is lines of credit. Now, you've heard me talk about lines of credit a lot in the past, so we're going to talk about two different lines of credit here in this video. We're going to talk about bank lines of credit, and then we're going to talk about lines of credit from your supplier. So a line of credit from a bank is basically like a loan. So the way a line of credit works versus just a traditional business loan is you're only going to get charged interest for the amount of money you borrow. Okay, so the way a line of credit is going to work is you're going to go into a bank and you're going to say, hey, I want to establish a line of credit with your bank or with you as a bank. And they're going to say, okay, what do you want for your line of credit? Always go for the maximum amount they'll let you borrow. You just have to be responsible if they give you a large line of credit, and do not spend too much money and increase your overhead for no reason. Listen to me, don't do that. Even if the interest rates are great, only use your line of credit for when you have to. And I'm going to talk about when you need to use your line of credit and how to use it, okay? So let's say your bank is going to give you, since you're just starting off, let's say they're going to give you a $100,000 line of credit and your interest rate's 5%. Now they're only going to charge you for when you borrow against your line of credit. So the way this works is, and it's a great thing to have just in case that you start running low on cash, and it's going to happen your first year in business, and this is why I think this video is so important, is you understand how line of credits work and these credit cards work in your favor. Let's say you are transitioning to residential and commercial, or you're expanding, you go into a new city and you start doing a bunch of sales and you got a lot of jobs coming in, but you haven't get paid fast enough and you're starting to run low in cash in your capital. So your cash flow is in a negative right now. You're running out of money. So let's say you've signed $50,000 worth of projects in this new town, your first week in there, things are going great, and you're like, oh crap, I've only collected $25,000 of those dollars, I only got $25,000 in the bank, I'm starting to run low, I got payments due. What you can do is borrow against that line of credit from your bank. Let's say you want to take out $50,000 just to give you some padding in your account. All you're going to do is call the bank, say, hey, or shoot them an email, I need to transfer $50,000 from my line of credit into my checking account, and boom, they're going to transfer it over. Now you're going to start paying interest on that money, just at $50,000, not the whole 100. And as you start getting payments from your customers, then you can start transferring that money and paying off that loan. And so think of it as like an extra set of cash that if you have to dip into, you're going to have to pay interest rate on, but you always have it there for just in case purposes. Now, if you also start doing commercial work and you start getting your general contractor's license or the roofing contractor's license that require you to have X amount of money in capital in your company, your line of credit can act as capital for your roofing license or your general contractor's license. And that can also increase your bonding as you start doing more commercial work. Okay, again, we're not talking about commercial work a ton in just these videos, because again, those are pretty complex conversations. And if you guys have questions about it, you can always email me about bonding. But the point is that having a line of credit is always a good idea. And I will push you to always push your bank to give you higher and higher lines of credit, so you always have that available if you're wanting to grow your company. That's a hell of a lot easier than you going out and trying to get business loans or trying to find venture capitalists or things like that to grow your business, as you having a line of credit. But keep in mind, if you dip into that line of credit, only dip into the line of credit when you're trying to grow your business or you're trying to scale. Never do it just to buy a new truck for no reason, or you want to pay yourself a higher salary this year and you only got to pay 5% interest on that money. Don't do that. Only use that to increase your footprint or increase profits for your business. So be very careful, because it's basically like a credit card, and I'm telling you, the bank's going to try to come after their money. And a lot of times with lines of credit, when you first get started, they're going to use you as a personal guarantee. And even if you start your business as an LLC or a corporation, if you use a personal guarantee on it, they can still come after you if your business goes under. So just understand all that stuff before you get one. I'm here trying to scare you one. I'm trying to tell you to get one. But just understand those things come into play when you get a line of credit. The next line of credit that we're going to talk about is with your supplier. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time, because I brought this up in other videos. But as you pay, you're probably going to start off as cash on delivery with your supplier. But as you build a relationship, You want to get to where you can go out 90 days without paying any interest or any penalties with your suppliers for construction contracts, because a lot of times when you're doing that, you're doing multiple jobs at once, and you want to make sure you get paid by your customer before you have to pay your material order. That way you're not in a negative cash flow with your business, okay? You want to always keep money in your account. So having a long line of credit with your suppliers is really going to help you in that process, particularly when you have multiple projects going on, okay? And as you're trying to scale your company. So I don't want to beat a dead horse with that one and speak too much about it, but understand that exists. Again, if you have questions, send me an email. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about, and this is something that I don't think a lot of business owners in general take advantage of, and I know a lot of roofing contractors don't take advantage of, and guys that is credit cards. If you have good credit and you are buying materials, almost every single time you buy materials, you can pay with credit card. You can pay with credit card for actually almost everything with your business. A lot of times with subcontractors, like I've told you, you're probably going to have to pay them out of cash or with check, but most of the time, everything else you can pay with a credit card, and sometimes you can even pay them with credit cards, depending what subcontractor that you hire. And you can even offer them, say, hey, I can pay you next day if you let me pay with a credit card. When you pay with a credit card, there are going to be fees that the other person has to worry about, like you're not going to get the full amount, and some people don't like getting credit card payments because of that. But the benefit you get, if you get the good credit cards, is you either get cash back or you get travel miles. Guys, we've used our credit cards to travel all over the world, because we go out, like let's say you go out and you have a $2 million year and you make $1 million on your credit card payments. Like that's how much you're having to pay out for things, and you use it on your credit card. Even without all the bonuses that's available, you're going to get extra credit card miles, and you're going to get $1 million worth of frequent flyer miles just for using your credit cards. And guys, you can basically fly anywhere in the world on less than $100,000 points. And a lot of times for like 120,000, you can do international first class tickets for like 120,000. And I'm telling you, you can book cruises, hotels, excursions, all kinds of stuff with credit card points. I mean, basically most of the time now we don't pay for flights anywhere. So we use it both for the business and for our personal life. It's just a great opportunity. And if you're not taking advantage of it or cash back, just listen, if you take anything out of this last part of the video, don't pay with the debit card, okay? If you have bad credit, work towards good credit so you can get credit cards, and use your credit cards to get points. It's free money basically that credit card companies are giving you for travel or cash back just for using your cards. It's a no-brainer, okay? There's a video on our YouTube channel where I talk about it. If you want to find more information out, go check out it. But I'm telling you, you have to do it with your business. And another thing, it can also give you an extra line of credit. I think with American Express, we have almost a $200,000 credit line with American Express. And so that just gives us another opportunity to be able to scale our company when we need to pay for stuff with our credit cards. So don't pay with debit card unless you just absolutely have to. Make all your payments and all your bills with a credit card.